Rachel Ann Dine, licensed professional counselor both in Virginia and Florida. So, for me, mental health goes into pretty much all facets of who we are, our being, our level of motivation, our ability to be resilient, adaptable to different situations. So, truly, mental health is kind of the state of your mindset in so many ways. My experiences with mental health. So, in addition to being a licensed mental health counselor and owning a group private practice where I actively see clients, my personality type lends itself to being perfectionistic and type A. And with that often comes anxiety. And anxiety is one of those experiences that every single person has. No one is immune to it. So for me, the anxiety piece of life can be real. So, what makes it hard to recognize symptoms either in yourself or in other people is that a lot of times, especially with my specialty that I work with, which is high achieving, also perfectionistic personality types, is oftentimes these individuals really on the outside can look like they have it all together, but underneath are kind of like the duck paddling furiously underwater, just really struggling to keep the anxiety at bay, keep those feelings of insecurity down. Not to mention that while I do believe that society has done much better in trying to normalize the experience of either going to therapy or destigmatize what it means to have a mental health issue, there is still, in some ways, the shame that is attached to identifying it or saying that you have depression or anxiety or a personality disorder, something of that nature. So, my view on treatment, well, I'll start with a little bit of background. So, I have been in the mental health field now for 15 years, and I can hardly believe it at this point, but that has been what I have dedicated my work to. So, from inpatient psychiatric hospitals, both short term and residential, to military family life counseling, substance abuse treatment at a methadone clinic, to now owning my group private practice, my experience kind of lends its hand to all different facets of the mental health world. With these 15 years in the field, I have just seen the positive effects of someone attending therapy, of even going inpatient when symptoms become almost too difficult to manage or deal with. So, certainly, any kind of suicidality, any even hallucinations or delusions, I have seen just the transformation that happens when people get medicated correctly or receive therapeutic modalities to help decrease symptoms. So, my view is I'm a complete therapy advocate, and with that, there comes so many different suggestions of finding someone who you really mesh well with. And if you don't like that first person, don't be discouraged. Don't let the hunt stop there. Sometimes it takes a while because therapists are human beings too, and we don't often get along with everybody. So wait and find the person that is going to work best with your personality type. So, some of my favorite go to coping strategies and modalities that I encourage clients to do are: number one, if you find that you're caught up in an anxiety loop, one of the best ways to break it is to create joy. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's engaging in a hobby that you find is your outlet, so an artistic expression, exercise, even cooking, whatever brings you a sense of peace and allows you to gain some kind of mental clarity. So it goes without saying, of course, reaching out for a therapist. And then my basic foundational go to on the everyday, weekly level, almost creating a lifestyle around this, is the three pillars. That's what I refer them to: making sure that what you're putting in your body is healthy, that it's fueling you, so your food, because at the end of the day, food is medicine. So watching what you're consuming, how much water you're drinking, trying to move your body several times a week to get that exercise, to release anxiety, improve upon symptoms of depression. We know now that exercise releases endorphins, which is very much tied to dopamine and serotonin levels in the brain. So it is a legitimate fact that exercise helps. And last but not least, the one that sometimes can go out the window is sleep. So making sure you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours each night. And on a very basic level, those are the pillars for creating a lifestyle. And then from there, once you find a therapist, should you choose to, there are so many different kinds of techniques, whether cognitive behavioral therapy, which really seeks to explain the connection between the thoughts that you have and how they influence actions and behaviors, dialectical behavioral therapy, skills training, solution focused therapy, narrative therapy. Basically, any kind of therapeutic modality is what a therapist will seek to offer you, cater to whatever issues or problems you're bringing to the table. I definitely believe there are so many reasons why people are not open about their own mental health. So, the first one, namely, being a lot of times family of origin can sometimes influence this. So, certainly, people who grew up in a different generation, therapy was viewed as non essential. It was not viewed as something that you would go and participate in to go talk to a person about your problems. So, whether you grew up in a family who thought emotions were silly and just encouraged you to just deal with it and move on, I have seen this become an overarching theme throughout my work in the field. I touched upon it a little bit earlier, but definitely the shame. So, we do live in a society where busyness is celebrated, achievement is celebrated, and sometimes when you are suffering from symptoms of depression or anxiety, sometimes people equate that as almost being weak. So that can cause a person to kind of internalize the issues that they're experiencing and just not be vocal about it. And so part of the work that going to a therapist can offer is reframing that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, to cater techniques to whatever you're going through, all the above. But yes, with the shame, the family of origin, and even the pressure that we as humans place on ourselves to just try to manage and handle, and we shouldn't be feeling this way. So sometimes our very own thought processes about something can prevent us from being open. Go-to resources that I like to suggest are several different therapist directories. The first one being Psychology Today, which is also a wealth of information in terms of articles, research, great ways to do even self assessments and kind of understand a little bit more deeply what you could potentially be going through, and also typing in your zip code to get connected to all the local therapists in your area. The second resource that I like to throw out there is goodtherapy.org, which covers a comprehensive overview of mental health issues, also has similar therapy or therapist searching modalities to it. So you can also type in your zip code and get connected. And so that is a second easy to utilize resource. Last but not least, if you're active duty or military connected in some way, Fleet and Family Services is kind of your go-to place to get started. In addition to Military One Source, both are great for connecting you to a therapist in your area. If someone came to me and mentioned that they were suffering in silence, my first encouragement would be to just normalize it for you and let you know you're not alone. Even if you feel as if you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, or you have too much stress to manage, your symptoms of depression are too intense, or there's no help for you, I just want to put it out there that absolutely there are people willing and that have dedicated their entire educational and career journeys to helping you through whatever you are going through at this moment. You don't have to do it alone. In fact, I highly encourage you to reach out. It is never too late. No one is ever too broken for any kind of assistance. If you have ever been curious about what life could even look like with reduced symptoms or feeling more empowered, regaining your sense of self-confidence, sometimes it's only a matter of picking up that phone and making one phone call, emailing that one therapist, and getting connected. Being a part of this video has only reaffirmed my passion and my love for mental wellness, for mental health therapy, for helping people get connected to the right resources and feeling supported in wherever a person could be in their life journey. So, absolutely, anytime I get the chance to talk about mental health, it just only solidifies why I have gone into this field.